All right, all right. Let me pop this up. The ticker. Welcome everyone to this week's Newcastle United transfer news stream. Yay! Well, there's barely been any sort of like good news for Newcastle United this week. Obviously, there's a lot to get into. I have about 4 transfer rumors to kind of talk about this week. But as I said, this week has been pretty quiet in terms of transfer news. If you can kind of look, maybe a bit of bed hair. I kind of woke up a bit later than usual, but I'll still do the show as much as I can. But let's kind of start off with a little bit of a good, maybe I don't know, depends on whether you like the kit or not. Let's talk about the new away kit for the season. Let me first share with you guys the away kit so that everyone knows. If it pops up, where is it? Oh, wait. Oh, let's put it like that. All right. So this is the new Newcastle United away kit. How does it look? It looks all right to me, to be honest. I think it is quite decent in terms of an away kit. It's nothing really special, but look, it's a green Saudi kit, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm not going to have too much worry on anything really. But yeah, I made a YouTube short regarding that. So yeah, give me 1 sec. I'll try to change up my. Do I need to update my internet? No. But yeah, this is Newcastle United's away kit for next season. So yeah, that's just a bit of news on that. But yeah, let's actually get on to the major transfer rumors. Let's first. So I don't know how long this sort of live show will be. It will probably last for about 15-20 minutes, just rattling through because there's barely been any sort of like major news. Even if there are major news, it will probably be over quickly. So the first bit of news is where is Sandro Tonali? Well, the announcement is expected to be on. Why is my nose so itchy? It's to be expected to be on Monday. Let me quickly get that up. I swear, why is my nose so itchy? I don't like it. All right. So let it load. All right. So according to the I newspaper, a British media, it has been reported that Sandro Tonali will be announced officially as a Newcastle United player on Monday. Last week we had the here we go. It's been a week and he hasn't really signed, but obviously that's because he played in the under 21 European Championships for Italy. So I'm pretty sure if he didn't play for them, I think he would have been announced very early of this past week. But seems like because now Italy are eliminated, it could, who knows, could even be very late tonight, or we'll just wait for Monday. And yeah, but in terms of like, oh my God, what if he doesn't sign for us? It's fine. He is our player. That I can probably 100% confirm, even if I'm not an ITK, meaning I don't know, like you know, the real juicy stuff of the window. But yeah, Sandro Tonali to Newcastle United is obviously going to happen, and yeah, am I excited? Yeah, I'm really excited for the player to join Newcastle United. I think he is one of the top quality players in the world. He won the Scudetto for Serie A. He's obviously that means he's won something compared to the majority of our team that are not winners. But it is quite amusing that we do have a player that we do have a bit of history with a winner in our team. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what Central Tanali will be like. Maybe look, I said on Tuesday, I didn't have any ideas on what sort of videos I would make, like long-term videos, or longer form videos. So I think maybe it could be, if they announce Sandro Tonali on Monday, I'll probably make a video about Sandro Tonali. Maybe I'll do that for all Newcastle United transfers, incomings, basically. And so, yeah, I think that would be quite interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much the quick news on Sandro Tonali. He is a Newcastle United player, even though it's not been announced by the club. He is a player for us, so nothing to worry about. Like, oh, he's not going to sign for us or where. He's already with us. The fee of around 55, 60 million pounds. We have basically paid whatever amount we need to pay already. So yeah, Sandro Tonali is a Newcastle United player. A player that's not going to be a Newcastle United player, which almost every single Newcastle fan wanted, was Dominik Szoboszlai, who is now almost likely to join Liverpool, who have held talks with the agent of the player. This was also reported by various media, that being Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein. So let me show you guys that bit of news from Ornstein talking about the signing, or not really signing, but the major bombshell that also includes Newcastle. Let me zoom in a bit. All right. So it is said that Liverpool are pushing ahead with a deal to sign Dominik Szoboszlai. Looked difficult, but dynamic has shifted. Newcastle United are out of the race to sign Dominik Szoboszlai. Now it appears Liverpool are confident it can get it done, and have held talks with Fabio Carvalho, whatever. But yeah, Newcastle United will not be going for Dominik Szoboszlai, unlike many Newcastle United fans. A lot, not me, right? I didn't do this, right? You can see on Twitter, maybe not so much on like Facebook, whatever, but on Twitter, a lot of Newcastle United fans were, putting Dominik Szoboszlai, profile pictures on the Twitter account, or because we missed out on James Maddison, who we're not going to discuss too much because he's not a new player for us. He is a new player for Spurs. Newcastle fans in the replies, oh, James Maddison signs for Tottenham. Oh, we didn't need him anyway. There's another player, Dominik Szoboszlai, we're going for. Well, now we're not going to get both. So yeah, for me, right, I think it's about. I think it was the reason why I think we pulled out of the Dominik Szoboszlai sort of negotiations is probably because of the fee. So there's a release clause of around 60 million pounds, but I think that has to be paid outright to RB Leipzig in order to enter into negotiations with both the club and Dominik Szoboszlai. Or because it actually is expiring tonight, that release clause, tomorrow or whatever, that would mean that RB Leipzig will be free to sort of negotiate or make a higher fee for Dominik Szoboszlai, which I think Newcastle United maybe would have hoped for. But because I think now Liverpool probably made the groundwork on Dominik Szoboszlai, and I think maybe Szoboszlai wants to join Liverpool over Newcastle, I think the club Newcastle probably realized that they won't be getting Dominik Szoboszlai. That's why I think that's the reason why it has come out that Newcastle United are out of the Dominik Szoboszlai race. Look, I am gutted. I'm gutted that we didn't get James Maddison. Now I'm more gutted we're not getting Szoboszlai. And now you're going to be seeing Newcastle fans saying, "Oh, we weren't actually genuinely into Dominik Szoboszlai in the first place." Like, come on, it was registered interest. It's just that I think circumstances around the club at the moment, Newcastle, is, were we willing to pay the release clause for Dominik Szoboszlai? I don't think we were. And would we have been confident to negotiate a lower fee to get Dominik Szoboszlai after the release clause expired? I don't think so. So probably that's why we didn't go for him. Obviously, there's more other targets that are, but maybe who perhaps better than both Maddison and Szoboszlai. One player that I would really, really like if he's like the alternative or whatever is Mohamed Kudus from Ajax. I would absolutely love to have Kudus from Ajax. There were links with Newcastle and Kudus. I don't know if that will actually come to fruition, but I think he would be a perfect player for us. I would say Mohamed Kudus. And yeah, I think that's whether we'll actually get him remains to be seen. But I think Mohamed Kudus is a possible option. I know people will say, "Oh, Harvey Barnes." No, I'm not going for Harvey Barnes or any of those sort of players. I think look, there will be a name coming out. Maybe who knows? Maybe we'll actually get Federico Chiesa, because maybe after we announce Tonali to Newcastle on Monday, maybe we'll get another Serie A player, another Italian player. Maybe we build up an Italian connection, but we'll see. Chiesa or Mohamed Kudus, I would love to have either because I think they're a big upgrade in not only on the wing but also as a creative outlet. I think they're better than what we have on the right wing. So yeah, Kudus or Chiesa or someone of that similar sort of arc, I think would be fantastic for Newcastle United. Now, this one I don't really have much news on, but it's worth discussing. Tino Livramento, what's up with him? Well, Newcastle United, or I put on a YouTube short this past week that Newcastle United were interested in Tino Livramento. Whether we'll actually bid for him, I'm not sure, but the sort of planned bid was around 12 to 15 million pounds, plus maybe Ryan Fraser, or a lump combined sum of 23 million pounds for the Southampton fullback, Livramento. But it seems like he is worth around 30 plus million, and that's probably because of a sell on fee that Southampton have with Chelsea. That if we were to buy him, a significant portion of that sell on fee will go to Chelsea instead of Southampton. So that's why that Southampton are probably going to be pricing him at 30 plus million or something like that. For me, that's too much. That for a fullback, that is too much for especially because Southampton are in the championship, way too much. It's the same thing with any player that's currently in the championship or just got relegated, like Tyler Adams, Harvey Barnes, James Ward-Prowse. They shouldn't be costing 40, 50 million. And that's only because they're not in the Premier League, technically. And that's how the market should be. I know James Maddison going to Spurs was around 40 million plus add-ons. So I think Spurs are probably paying 50 million plus for James Maddison, and that is probably because of those add-ons. But even though the initial fee is probably 40 million, I think there's also a lot of add-ons on that James Maddison deal with Spurs to have it over 50 million at least. But yeah, I really don't understand why Livramento would still cost 30 something plus. I saw 50 million. I'm like, there's no way Livramento is 25. He's not even 25 million, in my opinion. And for me, if Southampton are still insistent with it, I wouldn't go for Livramento. Will I take him? Yes, as a backup, but he ain't a starter. Even if we sign him, we still need a left back. I know we're linked with like Theo Hernandez, or I think it was David Hanko from Feyenoord. Those are the only two any sort of links I've seen for a left back. But Livramento, 25 plus millions, probably no. 23 is probably the most. 25 million at most for Livramento. Anything more in terms of the whole package to Southampton, that would be a no for me. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see about that saga. And yeah, the last bit of transfer news This one I just recently saw earlier today, and that is Gabri Vega from Celta Vigo. There's about 4 teams that want him. I'll share the where I found this information. But yeah, it is said that Newcastle United are part of the quadrant, or whatever you want to say, that is interested in meeting the release clause of Gabri Vega from Celta Vigo, who everyone knows we've been linked with. What, a month ago, where it says, "Oh, it's very close that we'll get him." Well, nothing has really happened with that. And that's probably because of other transfer news that we were linked with. Obviously, we had that Barella news, and then eventually Sandro Tonali. But um, this was reported from 90 Min Football that Newcastle United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City have all held talks with the agent Jorge Mendes over Celta Vigo midfielder Gabriel Vega. So it's not the super close that we saw about almost a month ago already, that we were super close to getting Gabriel Vega, but it's not the case. But yeah, Gabriel Vega to Newcastle United. Look, I wouldn't mind having him. I think he would be a very good addition to our midfield. Is it is he a player that will massively improve on us? I'm not really sure. Compare him to even a Madison or Szoboszlai. I think those players are ahead of Gabriel Vega, but I would absolutely love to have Gabriel Vega at Newcastle United, and obviously that is because I think he's a top quality player. I just don't know if he'll be the player that takes us to the next level, like a Sandro Tonali, who has won a Serie A, who has led AC Milan to a semifinal of the Champions League. Have that sort of background of winning in the big games, in the big moments. Those are the sort of players I hope we be getting. I know Szoboszlai is one of those players that we're not getting, but getting a player like Mohamed Kudus or Federico Chiesa, who has won something, I think it is important that Newcastle United are going for players that have experience, but also have experience in winning. And when I say winning, I mean actually lifting trophies. Um, if you look at the whole Newcastle United team at the moment, I'll include Tonali in it. In terms of players that have won major trophies in the past 3 years, there's Trippier, who's won, with Atletico Madrid. He won the league with them. Sven Botman, he won League One with Lille. I think in that same year that Trippier won La Liga. There's obviously now going to be Tonali, who's won Serie A just last year, actually. Not this past season, the year before. Other players have won any sort of trophies. Is there any I can think of? Right now, I don't think. I think there's only 3 players at the moment I can think of that has won trophies um, in very recent times. So I think it is very important that not only that we are going for players that have talent at Newcastle United, like potential, but also going for players that are experienced with winning. Because I think, as I said, as in for me, I think the most important thing we need this season. I can remove this now. Is that Newcastle United have to win a trophy. I think that's the sort of thing that's on our shoulder at the moment. And for me, I would take if we miss out on Champions League, but we win the FA Cup or whatever, I would absolutely take that because I think winning a trophy means so much for us. And who knows? Maybe it would be better that we'll bring in those sort of winners. So Kaiser, he's won. Obviously, I think I'm not sure if he won Serie A with Juventus because it's been a while back, but he has won the European Championships with Italy, so that's a winning experience. Mohamed Kudus, I think just last season he won something with Ajax. Sketchy card here says, "Oh yeah, Joe Willock. Yeah, he won the FA Cup, but wasn't a starter. Yeah, Joe Willock as well. I think he's also another player, even though he's not the player that has won the FA Cup, as in like his experience, but experience of lifting trophies. And that's what Sandro Tonali, Sven Botman, Kieran Trippier have with us at the moment. So if we can sign Keza, who's won the Euros with Italy, or Mohamed Kudus, who's won multiple trophies with Ajax, I would absolutely take them, and they are a quality player and a level above what we have at the moment with Almiron and Murphy and whatever. But yeah, that's basically it for the live show today. Not really much. I know the past couple of weeks it's mostly been about a little over 30 minutes, but this one's been short because there hasn't really been any major Newcastle United news in terms of like just major signings. Obviously, we already knew about Sandro Tonali. But yeah, I cannot wait for. I think it will be Monday, but who knows? Could be later tonight. The announcement, but I'll be excited to welcome in Sandro Tonali, and obviously hope that if we are going to miss out on now James Maddison and obviously now Dominik Szoboszlai, I hope that we bring in a player that's at least similarly good, or who knows, even better than Szoboszlai. As I said, Chiesa or Kudus, I think would be a perfect alternative. Maybe there's other players that haven't heard of. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Rafinha. I would take Rafinha, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do subscribe. By the way, of course, I've reached over 300 subscribers. My YouTube Shorts has been very, very consistent. Even though this past week there hasn't been much news, most of the time I only had like one YouTube Short. But yeah. And before we go, one final question from Sketchy Cod. Who would you start in midfield right now? By the way, Willock, Longstaff, or Joe Ellington? If let's just say the transfer window closes now and we only bring in Tonali, let's just say, the back four would still stay the same, even though I want an improvement at left back and maybe an improvement on Fabian Schär. Midfield have Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes. I would probably say Joe Willock. I think Joe Willock might be that player I would pick in midfield, and that's because I would like to see Joe Wellington at left wing, right wing. Maybe we'll just put Anasa Maximum in right wing. Otherwise, just put Almiron and then center forward Isak, or just put Isak on the right and Callum Wilson through the middle. But yeah, that's all for the show. Thank you everyone that has joined. Please subscribe to the channel, like the stream, like the video if you're watching on a replay. Ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my YouTube shorts. Obviously for the next few weeks, and a lot more stuff coming up on the channel. July is going to be a big one. There's obviously the Women's World Cup that I will be doing. Probably just 3, maybe 4 games. Most of them just being about on the Philippines, because that's who I'm supporting, obviously. But more news on that when the time comes. But I'll see you guys in the next one.